Hello, this is the Ramblings of an Indisciplined Mind podcast for Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016. As of this recording, Sierra is still missing. I'm actually surprised that I got that right because I've been having troubles today. Remember what day it was? I kept thinking it was Thursday. I guess it was wishful thinking. So, way back in the 70s, when I was but a wee lad, there was a show that was on TV called Salvage One. I probably talked about this many hundreds of episodes ago, and if you remember me talking about it, then yay you for listening all this time. And if you're newer and haven't heard it, I don't blame you for not going back and listening to all the back catalog. So, what this was, it was about a guy who was an owner of a salvage yard that was played by Andy Griffith. This was older Andy Griffith, obviously. And he had this scheme to build, using the junk in his yard, to build a rocket ship to go to the moon. Because this was after the Apollo missions had ended. And so he builds a ship, and like the pilot, he builds a ship, and they build a radio that broadcasts on FAA frequencies, which is probably a violation of federal law right there. And so when they're going to take off, there's a recorded message saying, warning, there's going to be a rocket taking off in this location. Please clear out any airplanes, commercial aircraft from this area. And they take off, and they went to the moon, and they came back, and then of course the federal government clamps down, and they had all these rules about they couldn't fly the thing anymore. They couldn't fly the moon because of reasons. I don't even remember what the reasons were. It was stupid because this was a pilot for a TV show, so they turned into a TV show. But the problem was they never flew the ship anywhere. If they did, it was just like a little... It seems like they may have once flown the ship, and it was just like a little hop. They took it from here to here kind of thing for once again, reasons. But the TV show quickly petered out because the thing that was cool was going to the moon. And the way they wrote the plot, the federal government wouldn't let them go to the moon anymore. So it kind of petered out. But I really enjoyed that show. It stuck in my brain. So today, there's a news story that this company called Moon Express is planning doing trips to the moon. And they cleared a major milestone today. No, they didn't make it to the moon. They didn't take off for the moon. They didn't take off as a test flight. No, they got FAA approval to fly to the moon. And I'm really trying to figure out, since when did it fall to the FAA to give approval to go outside the orbit of the Earth? I just really don't understand this. Does this mean that if there's another company like SpaceX, or who knows, maybe even Moon Express, when they get tired of going to the moon's surface, do they have, and they want to go to Mars, you got to go to FAA to get approval to go to another freaking planet? Are you kidding me? We don't own the moon. It's not the U.S. moon. If China or Russia or Japan wants to build a spacecraft and go to the moon, they can do it. We don't own it. It's not our territory. It's like going to Antarctica. You don't have to go get a permission to go to Antarctica. Nobody owns it. The limit that the FAA should be able to do for them is to, grant them clearance to have obviously an opening in airspace so that they can take off. Obviously, I'm sure they've done I don't know when they're going to the moon. I think it's like sometime around 2020 or 20 something. But I'm sure they're doing test flights. SpaceX is out there doing test flights. I don't recall who else is in the running for that. I usually hear about SpaceX more than anything else. So obviously they got to get clearance when they want to do a flight to have clear airspace so they don't run into a Delta flight or something. But it just boggles my mind. They got to get permission to go to the moon to fly in space. I mean, what stupid bureaucratic bullshit is this? And is this a law? Did this get through Congress? Did a president sign for this? That any U.S.-based company has got to get approval from the FAA to fly the moon? I'd move my crap to Mexico or Canada if I was running one of these companies. That's just ridiculous. I don't get that. It's one of two news stories that kind of perturbed me today, and so I thought I'd talk about this one. I might talk about the other one next time. Actually, maybe I'll talk about the other one now briefly, because it won't take me very long. The other news story that kind of perturbed me a little bit was the story of the display that they're going to have for Brett Favre at the NFL Hall of Fame. Now, he has no control over this. The teams don't have any control over this. So this 100% resides with the people running the Hall of Fame. So, just a brief background. It was watching Brett Favre, because the wife was trying to get me into football, because I was not into football at all growing up, because I was a geek and a nerd. She got me watching Brett Favre, and that was when he was super hot, like in '99, and so for a good many years, he was like the player for me. I have a Brett Favre jersey, and he did the majority of his career at Green Bay, and then he left under conditions that weren't great, and I don't think it was his fault, but it was kind of tumultuous. There we go. And then he played for 2 years with the Minnesota Vikings. So what they've decided to do at the Hall of Fame is his display is going to have a Vikings home jersey. It'll have a Packers away jersey. And then it'll be a helmet, there'll be some other Packers memorabilia there. And I'm just like, away jerseys are boring. For the most part, I always prefer a home jersey to an away jersey, because an away jersey is usually like predominantly white. It doesn't have, the team's colors are usually more like piping, whatever. That's the way the Green Bay jerseys are. They're white with green and gold piping on the collar and on the, and I think Minnesota's the same way. But he spent the majority of his career, which was like 14 years, or I forget how many years. It was a long time in football years, so to speak. Why aren't you going to put a Green Bay jersey on there that's got the green and gold, his home freaking jersey, and then put the away jersey for the Vikings? Hell, put the home jersey for both. Who says it's got to have a home and an away? But it kind of ticks me off that the team where he spent the majority of his time, they're only going to have the away jersey on there. Now, I realize this is probably a temporary thing. Over time, the display is going to change, and blah, 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 blah. But this is going to be the display for when he gets inducted, because he's getting inducted later this month. And it's just like, seriously? There's not going to be a Packers home jersey there? Yeah, so I wasn't terribly pleased with that. The more I thought about it, it kind of annoyed me. But that's kind of what I was thinking about for today. I will be back tomorrow I'll be talking to you then. So, be seeing you